Okay. Last night's win was atrocious for the most part. We may have won, but this is the worst 5-3 football team I have ever seen. Cause anybody who watches this team would think for sure that they would be 2-6 or maybe 3-5 at the absolute best. Do not let our record fool you. We are 5-3 by total coincidence. I don't know how the hell this team is 5-3. I really don't. Now look, the opening drive was good. I mean, it was about damn time we would actually put together a good opening drive, let alone get a touchdown off of it. But after that, it took us a while to leave where we left off on this opening drive. Being shown right there with the touchdown by Najee Harris. Because after that opening drive, the defense couldn't get off the field worth a damn, thanks to stupid ass penalties by the defense. You know, giving the Titans chance after chance, especially Joey Porter Jr., who not only I'm gonna get to him a little more. He had a lot of penalties in this game, and it's like, but the one thing that I'm really frustrated about more than anything is this. So the Tennessee Titans, they already came into this game with more than enough injury issues on the offensive line. And throughout the game, they suffered like 4 or 5 injuries on an already beat up unit. And yet, despite all of that, this overrated, overpaid, so-called elite defense allows a rookie quarterback making his second career start, first on the road, first in prime time under the lights. And yet we let this guy shred our secondary throughout the game. Like, how the fuck does that happen for a so-called elite defense? How the fuck do we let that happen? We made him look like Joe Montana. Because all of our corners outside of Joey Porter Jr. suck ass in coverage. Yes, Minka Fitzpatrick was out, but that's no excuse. That's no excuse. You cannot let a rookie quarterback torch you like this. You just can't. And because the secondary and the penalties is what damn near cost us this game. Now, yes, you can argue that some of the penalties should not have been called, but at the end of the day, this team played with no discipline at all in this game last night. No discipline whatsoever. None. And Kenny Pickett played like shit again. He played like shit once again. Aside from the fact that, he had no turnovers. I mean, the fact of the matter is, this was a turnover-free game for both teams until the game-winning interception by Kawan Alexander. But yeah, I will say this. For as off as Kenny Pickett looked last night, okay, for as off and inconsistent as he looked, from overthrowing receivers, missing wide open guys, I will say this. George Pickens cost him a touchdown pass because he had plenty of room to drag the other foot in bounds for the touchdown. And yet, he swings the foot forward and he steps just out of bounds. George Pickens is a good wide receiver, but he's not an elite wide receiver. Justin Jefferson gets that touchdown. Tyreek Hill gets that touchdown. A.J. Brown gets that touchdown. I mean, hell, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, they get that touchdown. Oh, Jamar Chase gets that touchdown. Devontae Adams gets that touchdown. And now, Matt Canada, I understand we all hate him. I get it. But he actually called a pretty good game last night. And yet, even with that, even when Matt Canada calls a good game, the overrated talent on this offense, the so-called elite talent on this offense, just lacks execution. Because like I said, George Pickens, he's a good wide receiver, but not an elite wide receiver. I mean, he didn't even have positive yardage on his receptions throughout the game. Because I think the one catch he did have went for negative yards, even though it may not have been the best play call. But aside from that play call and the stupid shit that we were doing at the goal line, where where Deontay Johnson finally caught a touchdown pass for the first time in damn near 22 months. I mean, I don't know how that happens for a guy that's supposed to be a top 10 elite wide receiver, according to the idiot fanboys in this fan base. But aside from the retard play calls that we were doing there, Matt Canada and Mike Dumlin actually called a good offensive game. It's just that the players themselves were inconsistent. So, because even in one of the better showings of on offense that this team shows, there are still so many of the same problems. However, I will say this. The run game looked pretty good last night. I'll say that. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, both of them combined put together a good rushing attack. We had like 166 yards on the ground. Good job. But overall, the offense still has a ton of shit to fix. Because it's like when are we gonna get a clean win? When? Okay, I mean, yeah, we're 5-3, but so what? Yeah, we're the 5th seed, but so what? We do not look like a 5-3 football team at all. Put this team up against a top 10 team, they get beat by at least 2 touchdowns. Put this team up against one of the top 5 teams in the league, besides Baltimore, because we've had their number. But other than them, put us against the top 5, top 3 team in the league, we will get blown the fuck out by them, regardless of what kind of Steelers team shows up. Or should I say, regardless of what kind of mid Steelers team shows up. Because that's all this team is. This team lives and dies off of mid. I mean, that's what this team lives and dies off of. We either lose by multiple scores, or we have a win where we either have to crawl it out and or make shit harder than it should be. So yeah, overall, this was not a good game by this team still. I'll take the win, I guess, but even in a win, it's the same shit from this team, still with many of the same problems that we see in our blowout losses. And now let's get to Joey Porter Jr. Because, look, this was his first career full-time start at corner. And for as good as he looked covering DeAndre Hopkins, and believe me, I do give him credit, he held him to 1 catch out of 7 targets for 12 yards. But for as good as a game that Joey Porter Jr. had in coverage, 2 things, maybe 3, come to think of it. But number 1, the penalties have got to stop. You had 5 penalties in this game at least. At least 5. And on one play, on the Titans' opening drive on offense, you had 2 penalties on the same play. I get you're a rookie, but damn, where is your discipline? And it's like, and another thing, learn how to tackle for once, because you had trouble on that one place trying to tackle and bring down their backup running back. I forget his name, but not only did you get caught for face mask on that, but you did a soft ass job trying to bring him to the floor. Your dad is Joey Porter Sr., a former hard-hitting linebacker. Get some word out of him. Maybe he'll tell you how to toughen up and tackle the ball carrier. And now look, I do want to get this out of the way too. For as much shit that I've given Deontay Johnson, and believe me, I'm probably the hardest on him out of anybody in this fan base, he actually played a good game. My opinion on him still stands. Okay, my opinion still stands on him. But he played a good game. Okay, he did. I think he had like 7 catches, 90 yards. Good game. And of course, he caught his first touchdown pass in damn near 22 months. I mean, that's still pathetic, but at least he finally broke the streak for a guy that gets so much hype. But all in all, this is still not a good football team at all. They really aren't. Yeah, we're 5-3. But like I keep saying, this team still has so much to work on if they want to prove that they're a legit contender. I mean, the offense still sucks, aside from the fact that we did get the run game going, as mentioned. But now, so we got Green Bay next week. I mean, they're a pretty terrible team this season. Jordan Love, he had a great week 1, but has been pretty much garbage ever since. But for as bad as the Packers are, I would be shocked if we beat them by any more than 7 points. I really would. Because this is by far the worst 5-3 team I have ever seen. Because I know what's going to happen when we go up against Green Bay. Much like 2017, we're most likely going to underestimate them, and we're going to barely beat them. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. We're going to barely beat them. We're going to let Jordan Love look much better than he usually does. And even after they traded Douglas to Buffalo, it wouldn't shock me if the passing game led by Pickett looks inconsistent at best once again. I mean, look, I get it. A win is a win, but it's like, god damn, like, get your shit together. Both sides of the ball. Get it together. Anyways, that'll pretty much do it. 5-3, second in the AFC North. We get a week and a half's rest, and I'm out.